So first, describe the structures and explain the functions of male and female reproductive system. So, two main parts ang male reproductive system, and these are the testes and the penis. Penis and urethra are both the male urinary and reproductive system. So, the tests are held in the external pouch known as the scrotum. Here. So this one is scrotum, where they typically remain slightly cooler than the temperature of the body to promote the processing of sperm. And its function is production, maintenance of transport of sperm, and productive fluid, called as the semen. And it also releases of sperm into the female reproductive tract during puberty, and generate and secrete male sex hormones responsible for maintaining the male reproductive system. So, in female reproductive systems, main internal organs include the vagina and the uterus. So, this one serves as the semen receptacle, and the ovaries that contain the female ova via the cervix. The vagina is connected to the uterus, while the fallopian tube bind the uterus to the ovaries. In reaction to hormonal changes, one ovum or egg. And ang iyang functions kay enable niya ang sperm to enter the body and mag-protect siya og internal genital organs against infectious organism. So second is differentiate between asexual reproduction and sexual reproduction, internal and external fertilization, and indirect and direct development. So differentiate sexual and asexual reproduction. So first one is the sexual reproduction. So this one means literally the fusion of two parents' genetic material. So example, human. And in a sexual reproduction, yield siya og genetically identical offspring to the same parent. So example, mga plants. So differentiate between internal and external fertilization. So ang internal fertilization kay ma-happen ni siya inside the female body, and the offspring only develops there. Then the second one is the externally fertilized. So kani siya ma-happen ni siya outside, mag-fertilize ni siya outside sa body, that is a natural environment. Then usually kani siya mag-require ni siya og water. Then ang sperm kay mag-require siya nga so like kuan gani siya murag ang sperm ani niya kan mag-require siya mo swim towards the cell. So let's say kani siya pagawas ni siya og kuan, let's say cell, kani siya sperm, so musod siya ngadto, then adto na siya mag-fertilize sa gawas. So examples ani kay fish and amphibians. So differentiate between the direct development and indirect development. So for the direct development, kay mag-require ni siya og larval stage para ma-develop ang embryo into mature individual. So body changes through growth only. So example of it is dolphin, dog, and human. So for the indirect development, mag-require ni siya og larval stage, which is sexually immature and has different food requirements than adults. So example is a caterpillar nga mahimo siya og butterfly. The third one is describe the events associated with human sperm and egg production and explain how hormones influence them. So here for the egg production, activities correlated with the development of eggs are oogenesis. So, genesis, kay mga siyang production and development of ovum. In which, primary egg cell, kay mahimo siyang mature ovum and mo-grow siya further when ma-fertilize. The variant processes, process siya through which follicle and egg maturation influences the hormone, stimulating follicle and luteinizing the hormone. So, ang menstrual cycle, kaya mag-prepare na siya, i-prepare ni ang uterus for the fertilized egg and hormones. And estrogen and progesterone is involved in involved siya sa preservation sa lining of uterus. So, kani siya, ang oogenesis is also a process in which ang primary egg cell or the ovum, kaya may siya mature, diba? Then, the cells known as the primary ova, kay ma-remain dormant until prior ovulation when egg is released from the ovary. Sperm reproduction, while for the human sperm, there is spermatogenesis. So, mo ni siya ang production or development of mature spermatozoa. So, kani siya ang process is which ang haploid spermatozoa kay ma-develop from germ cell in the seminiferous tubules of the testes. Then, kani siya ma-develop and may mature ang sperm cells, often may influenced by follicle stimulating hormone, which causes the sterilized cells to release androgen binding protein or ABP, and luteinize na siya hormone, which makakause siya og release of testosterone by Leydig cell. Then, ang testosterone kay mo bind to the ABP to generate the sperm and spermiogenesis. And muna siya ang final nga stage sa spermatogenesis. Then the fourth one, describe the events in human fertilization until childbirth, particularly the appearance of sex differences and what triggers them. So, fertilization is a process in which ang haploid gametes can combine to create a zygote called the diploid cell para ma-ensure niya appropriate number of chromosomes ang present in each zygote. So, only one sperm will fuse with one egg. So, the first stage of human development is the zygotic stage. So, here, mo ni siya when ang male gamete or the sperm and the female gamete or like the egg kay mag-combine, then the zygote is produced. Then the next one is the blastocyst. So, mo ni siya ang single-celled zygote starts to break into a solid ball of cells. Then, it is a hollow cell ball called blastocyst. And gano'n siya ma-attach ni siya sa mother's uterus lining, which is the embryonic stage. So, ang main internal organs and external characteristics kay ara na mag-start og develop, mag-form na siya into an embryo. So, the heart, brain, spinal cord, kay ma-visible na siya ani nga point. Arms and legs, kay ara pa nagbigin na siya o develop. And lastly is the fetal stage or kaya siya fetus, may siyang fetus. So, when ang embryo kay ma-develop na, ara na siya ma-start og evolve. The organism is now called fetus. Then, ani nga time kay the structured differentiation and specialization occurs. Ara na siya may bawaan if is it a boy or a girl. So, ang sex difference niya kay a sperm cell gene kay either X or Y fuses in the egg cell with the X chromosome. So, aran naman ba if like girl or is a boy? So, how does the contraceptives work? So, ang contraceptives kay mo na siya mag-prevent sa sperm nga musud sa egg or the fertilization. So, ang pill kay i-delay sa hormone ang ovulation. So once take ang cervical mucus kay dili makaswim ang sperm padung sa egg. So ang cervical mucus kay more siya mag-stand as guard para dili makasud ang sperm. So, give examples of sexually transmitted infection. So, first one is the chlamydia. Basta kana siya. Sa throat na siya. So, kani siya, it is kanang also common and common siya sa sexual transmitted disease and both women and men makakuhaan ni. And for men, makita ni siya sa urethra. Yeah, urethra, inside the rectum, and sa throat. And for women, makita siya sa cervix, sa rectum, and sa throat. The next one is the genital herpes. So, makakause ni siya o 2 viruses. So lastly is the HIV or human immunodeficiency virus. Kaya siya mag-cause ni siya og AIDS and kaya siya ma-spread ni siya by contact with bodily fluids sa usa ka tawo nga naay HIV. Kanang example, unprotected sex. Yes.